to tonight. My name is John Lohr. I'm chair of the Millis Finance Committee. And I'd like to welcome everyone on Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Got to look at my watch here. October 15th of 2025 at a little late, 7 o'clock actually. Nope, I think the clock back there is a little fast. So before we get going, I'd like to have everybody introduce themselves. Starting off to my far left. Why don't you go, Brett?
Brett Hausler.
Mark Johnson.
Jen Zaretsky.
Mike Crone.
Joyce Boyardi.
Eric Marthinson.
Peter Berube.
And this was to call the meeting, the Millis Finance Committee meeting to order tonight. Heidi is not here. She is arriving back tonight. So, with that said, let me do my usual housekeeping items. There's many ways to access this information. You can actually view it online. Your local Comcast Channel 6, Verizon Channel 38. You can go to millismedia.org. You can watch it live streaming on YouTube. And just like all the other boards and committees, you can attend in person. And last, all the material will be available online under the Finance Committee webpage on the Millis website. Just a reminder to our guests and audience to speak into the microphone about 4 inches away. So I know we're going to be going over the warrant in a little bit, but before we get there, we have Jonathan Barry on deck. So come on down, talking about the Capital Planning Committee. You can sit or stand. I think both mics are live.
I like this one better for whatever reason.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for having me again. And it's a few of you I haven't met before, so it's nice to see some new members on the committee. So
Brett Hausler, Mark Johnson,
yeah,
and you know Eric?
I know Eric. So I'm John Barry. I am the chair of the Capital Planning Committee. And since we do have a couple new folks here, just a little background on the Capital Planning Committee. We've been around since 2017. Where we were established by bylaw. I think actually there was a Capital Planning Committee that kind of went defunct a little bit, and then we reestablished this about 8 years ago. And our job is to collect all the upcoming capital requirements from all the different departments, try to get an inventory of all that so the town's got some sense of all the things coming down the road. And then as the capital items come up at each town meeting, we do an assessment where we've set up a criteria to try to rank order them from highest to lower priority to help Finance Committee, help Select Board make decisions about which items to put forth for funding. So for this time around, we had a relatively small list of, I'd say, sort of regular capital items. We just had 4 items that came in front of us, totaling about $208,000. Hopefully everybody's got this report that we sent around.
We do. Thank you.
And just to say, this is a draft. There's going to be a couple of small, minor changes to it, so don't print this one just yet. $208,000, 2 of which we assessed as highest priorities per our criteria. 2 were medium priorities. The 2 highest priorities were some gas meters for the fire department. These are just replacement, regular scheduled replacement of gas meters. They have a certain lifetime. They do need to replace so many years. So this is one we've actually kind of known about. So no surprise there, and obviously it's high priority. It's a public safety issue. They need these to do their job. And then the other highest priority was a replacement of a pickup truck / dump truck for the DPW, a Chevy Silverado 3500. This is a pickup truck with a bed on it and a plow that they use for all sorts of work around town. This is replacing an existing truck that's pretty much at or arguably past its usable lifetime. So they're, and again, this has been one that's been on their replacement plan, so not a surprise here that they needed a new truck right around this time. 2 medium priorities. One was replacing some street light poles that have gotten damaged over the years, essentially from what I understand from cars smashing into them over time. So some of these poles need some work. And then some software that the planning board is looking for that would help keeping track of the various codes. So the town bylaws, the zoning code, and the third code. What's the third code? There's the 3 things that kept track of. Charter? The charter, yeah. So This is, they do a lot of this manually, and there's various Word docs and things that they have to update. This would actually help get that all inventoried and in better order. We thought those were both important items, not quite as high as the truck and the gas meters, so, but we put them kind of as medium priorities, so still important, not quite as high as the other two. The other item, which is kind of the big one, which we've all spent a lot of time on, and I know your committee spent a lot of time on, is the replacement of the middle high school. Obviously, this has been an item out there for a while that's gotten a lot of discussion and debate. So we, for our committee, finally was at a point where we felt it was appropriate for us to opine on the project, going through our process. And we had a meeting with the school building department a few weeks ago. We've met with them before in the past, but the most recent one was a few weeks ago, just to get the latest numbers, which we've summarized here. I'm sure you've seen these as well. But right now, best estimate is $125 million project, of which the state would pay a little bit more than half, $68 million, and the town would be on the hook for about $57 million roughly. And those numbers, as I'm sure you know, the town's share is lower, has come down somewhat from what previous estimates were, which is great news. The committee is, after all the discussions we've had with the school building committee and feedback from the school committee itself and other interested parties, we are fully supportive of that project. So we're giving it a highest priority review from our perspective. We also have just a higher level summary here. I will note this is where one of the typos is. Our latest updated summary is that the town has $92.5 million roughly of capital needs over the next 10 years. Obviously, the school project is a huge chunk of that, more than half of it. So there's 40-ish million of other projects out there. These are things, vehicles for police, fire, DPW. There's some sewer and water, stormwater projects out there. But replacement of equipment, that sort of thing, that we've got inventoried. We are also implementing, last year that the town purchased some capital plan, well, it's town-wide software, but it has a capital planning component that we're working with Mike and Jody to get all of these capital items into the software, so we actually will have a little bit better system than what we're currently using, which is basically a big spreadsheet with lots of stuff in it to keep track of this all. So hopefully, this time next year, we'll actually be able to provide you with some different kinds of reports that will show you some interesting ways of cutting the data and that sort of thing. But we've got a lot of work to do to get all the data into the system, so that's going to take a little bit of time.
So you think 6 months out or 12 months out?
Um,
Spring meeting or fall meeting next year?
I think realistically, we'd like to have everything in there by the spring, but I can't guarantee we'd be,
Sure.
really ready to roll with all the functionality. So probably more likely the fall where we'd be able to do some
Yep.
cool stuff with the data. Yeah. I'll pause there. I mean, obviously Eric joined our committee, this year, so it's been a welcome addition. And I know some of you have been on the committee before, but Eric, anything you might want to add in terms of your involvement in just kind of how the process has gone?
No, I think the process has gone well. Getting under the hood of how it's scored and how these things are prioritized has been very interesting. And you're right. It's like it's a little bit of a art and science combined, but it seems to come out pretty well. And I was surprised actually how the range of scores we could give things sort of after all the deliberation where we all came out seemed to be pretty much in agreement. So I thought that was a really interesting aspect of the process.
So that's it. Happy to take any questions.
Yeah,
Anybody
thank you
got?
so much,
Yeah.
Jonathan. Go ahead, Brett.
Thank you. This is excellent. Can you clarify with the summary page?
Yeah.
This is a collection or a summary of all items that have already been submitted for consideration? Or is this looking ahead even beyond those submitted
Yeah,
items?
so it's the latter. So back when the committee started, we did an inventory. We went to all the departments, asked them for everything they knew about, and we've been updating that periodically through the past few years. As part of this software upgrade thing, we're actually going through that process again. So we've asked all the departments to look at their 10-year out capital needs as best as they can assess, they know a car is going to need to be replaced, that kind of thing. So we're going through a process right now to get that, but, so they haven't necessarily requested it, right? So for example, we know that the fire department's going to need a new truck sometime, let's say, in the next 4 or 5 years. They haven't requested it yet, but we know it's there, so that would show up here as, $500,000 for a fire truck, for example.
And those planned expenditures are getting scored as they are entered into the system?
No, they get scored as they're requested. So,
okay.
yeah, so with each cycle, so with the upcoming town meeting, the departments will say, okay, yeah, now, I told you I was gonna need a truck, now I really need the truck, I'm putting it forth that I want it to get on the warrant. That's when we do the scoring. Yeah, so we don't do it too far in advance, just because things can change, and, the way we assess something now could be different 2-3 years from now when it's really needed, yeah.
Perfect. Go ahead, Pete.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I have a couple questions. The first one, maybe add a little context to this, and perhaps for Jody. What is the free cash number?
Ooh, that's next on the agenda, but Joe, do you want to step in?
I can. So we haven't had our free cash certified yet, so I'm hesitant to give a final number because the DOR can, change some of the figures at the even from what I submitted. But I can share sort of a floor that I think you can be comfortable working under the assumption of. And I would say at this point, I'm comfortable saying that 2.8 million can be the floor, and it would only be up from there. I should know this week, we've been actively working with the DOR since submission prior to the end of September. And we're just kind of waiting and at the mercy of how fast they get through our balance sheet. So I was hoping to hear yesterday, but we didn't have a chance to have it certified yet. So we're just kind of in the wings waiting.
So if the floor is 2.8 million, is it safe to say that these capital items would be funded if it passes at town meeting?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's definitely enough free cash to accommodate the requests that are on the fall town meeting warrant, for sure, and leave money for the spring.
Yeah.
Maybe just if I could add one point.
Yeah,
to that.
go ahead, Jonathan.
Since one of them is a DPW one, some of that would be funded through enterprise funds, likely. Right. So.
Correct, right. Good point. Go ahead, Pete, you had a second question?
Thanks. Yeah, I understand that the Capital Planning Committee is funding agnostic. We've used that term through many, many years. And the reason I'm asking about the free cash number, that looks like a decent number compared to past historical numbers. I'm curious if it would be prudent, based on the requests submitted, do we know, are there any other highest priority items that are on the horizon? And shouldn't we be looking for those, given that potentially this is a good amount? There's debate and discussion that can be had as to what the town should do. The Finance Committee is not fiscal source agnostic. I think we ought to be asking that question now to know, should we pay down debt? Should we contribute to OPEB? A number of things.
So this is a free cash question versus a capital planning committee specific question,
Well,
or potentially both.
they're related.
Yeah, Jody, you want to add a few comments?
I do think that there's a correlation there directly, and I do agree with Peter in the sense that if there are opportunities with free cash and looking at that to accelerate some of the capital planning needs, that is certainly an option. I think at this point, not having a certified number, I'm uncomfortable to, accelerate any of that at this time, but I think the spring is a great time to do that. I think that our focus with additional funding for OPEB, and the things that were decided upon for the fall town meeting warrant, put us in a great spot to kind of get some more assets into, roads and maintenance and some additional OPEB funding at that point, stabilization, things like that, we should be looking at for sure.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
And honestly, I think that's a fine answer. Honestly, whatever gets put into the warrant, that's up to the select board. I hope and I suspect that they are doing that, but I think we would love to have a discussion about it before we vote on it.
Yeah.
And so that needs to happen.
Well, it's worth verbalizing, and it's worth bringing it up at tri-board meetings throughout the year.
Yeah, thank you.
Other questions?
Any other questions?
Nope.
Jonathan, thank you very much for all your hard work and guidance
all.
on the capital planning
All
items.
right.
And we'll see you in the next few months.
Have a good night. Okay. So we got capital planning taken care of. Free cash, I think we've taken care of. Any other final thoughts on free cash, Jody, before we keep moving through the agenda?
I guess I would say that the additional information that I'll have for you, once free cash is actually certified by the Department of Revenue, is really just a breakdown of how that number came to be, so that people understand, you know, what that's made up of and sort of how that comes to be. So I'll have a breakdown the next time we meet, and probably share a little bit more in-depth detail on that.
Okay, could I make a request, and once you get that number, since everyone's on edge waiting for it, just to email the committee, and then maybe put some language around what your thoughts are around in terms of what the number means, and then we can talk about it again verbally at our next meeting, too. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll make sure that Deirdre has it as well. If there's some information, I don't know that in the past you've been given a packet or something to kind of share the breakdown of the free cash figures, so I'll make sure I connect with her as well on that.
That'd be great. Awesome, thank you. Okay, I think that should do it for free cash. Moving along to the town meeting warrant article review and discussion. Mr. Town Administrator, how are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
Good.
Thank you for having me back. I know you've seen 2 or 3 versions of this as it's progressed. I've seen about 15 versions.
Okay.
So I do get a little confused sometimes as to what's the latest version
Just as long as we have the
you've seen.
most recent one.
But this is the most recent one.
It is, okay.
Received, today. So in looking at it, I believe there's only been tweaks to a few items. Some of the articles, we have a total of 16 articles. The warrant is essentially complete. What you see in front of you, to the best of my knowledge, is what the Select Board is going to be looking at for their review and approval at their meeting next Monday. The draft warrant has been reviewed by Town Council and approved as to form. Article 6, which is the school building project article, has been reviewed and approved as to form by bond council as well.
By town council and bond?
Yes.
Council, yeah. Both, though. Does the town
Oh,
council?
well, town council reviews it.
Correct.
Town council always reminds me to make sure bond council, because they're the ones that are going to be talking to the lenders later when they want to verify that the language is correct. But because this is a part of the MSBA project, MSBA also has to review and approve it. And so they've been reviewing it for a couple days. And they indicated that they should be able to get their final approval with any notes or tweaks to me back by Monday, which is the date the Select Board will be approving that. So
And I notice on Article 6 that it's percentages now instead of dollar figures.
yeah, bond council doesn't like the numbers in there. They like the percentages.
Of contribution.
Yes.
Okay?
And again, MSBA is also critical in this, so they will be approving this between now and Monday night.
Gotcha.
I don't know I can't say there's really been any other real changes of note, and there may be a few grammatical changes. The map, the FEMA map has been added under Article
Oh, I see that.
12.
Yep.
And again, the one you have is not color, which I realize it might make it a little more
No, we
difficult.
have a
No,
color
ours
one.
is
Oh, you have a
color.
color,
Yeah,
great,
yeah, we have a
great.
color one.
All right.
Yeah,
Deirdre
somebody
used a
stayed
better
late.
printer than I did.
Wow. You gotta talk to someone. All right. Yeah, that's fantastic.
a lot of
It's,
magic
it's,
markers.
I was gonna say,
color
our
on the,
second
on the
grade
PDF,
class
so that's
did this.
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, there really hasn't been any other changes.
Okay.
And as of this point, I'm not expecting any other changes between now and Monday night, but I can never be 100% certain. But certainly, if there are any changes, I will certainly let you know right away. I know you were looking to make your recommendations this evening, so I don't see any bar to you moving ahead with that. As long as, just with the knowledge that should the board, for any reason, make a tweak to any of these articles, you may want to just take that article up again at your meeting next week.
Of course. So just to bring the committee up to speed, Mike and I talked before this meeting, and since this hasn't been approved by the select board committee yet as a final version, it's still in draft form, we're going to vote on all the articles as is, and.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, we can.
The only
can?
thing is if MSBA comes back and says you
All right,
need to
okay,
change the
all right,
sentence,
okay.
Yeah,
then the committee.
no, we're going to
may
vote on
wanna-
all articles
The
tonight.
committee could, when it meets next week, could say, does anyone want to revisit the vote
Yeah.
based on the change?
So-
and make a determination at that point.
So with everybody here tonight except for Heidi, the goal is to do that, and then next week, we will definitely on the agenda, Deirdre, if you could make a note to have a final review as a catch-all in case there are any changes with any of the articles, especially Article 6. That sounds good. Okay,
So
so,
unless there's any other questions, that's really all I had to report this evening. Are there any follow-up questions? I know some of these changes occurred for your meeting, at your last meeting, so I didn't know if there was any follow-up questions to any of the articles that I could answer, or if there's anything else regarding the warrant you
I
want to
think
talk
we've gone
about.
through,
yeah,
we've gone through it multiple times, so.
I think, I mean, when we go through and vote on these, we'll have discussion, so if there are further questions on each article, we can discuss at that time.
I'll be sure to stick around.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, so with that said, we're going to go into the discussion and voting of all the 16 articles in the fall warrant here. Couple of things before we get started. First of all, I want to thank, we've been meeting for quite a few weeks already, and I just want to thank all the departments and committees that have showed up. In no particular order, we had Jonathan Berry from Capital Planning Committee tonight. We've had Jim McKay come in representing Planning Board, DPW. We've had Chief Bear come in talking about the gas meters. Nicole Riley talking about Planning Board ADUs, the updates with that. Brutus Canareggi, the tree warden, talking about the trees that need to be pruned or removed. Nate Moltinsky came in with the Community Preservation Committee talking about the accessible trail at the Glen. And Diane Germain and Craig Schultz came in representing the School Building Committee, and we talked about that at our last meeting. And last but not least, we had Aaron Millette come in talking about animal control and increasing those fines. So I just want to thank everybody and appreciate all those departments and committees coming in to shed some more light on the details around the different articles that we do have. So kind of a discussion here as we're going to go through this. So every article that we go through here, and Pete, you're a good seasoned veteran here, is each article you're going to say, I move that the Finance Committee recommends approval or dismissal of article, whatever article you're representing, which is to, and then you can read the article. And then that will be properly seconded by anyone on the committee. And then we'll go into discussion, and then we'll go into a vote.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Pete.
can I just amend that with specify the fund source? So if you look at the table that's in the handout, draft 2025 annual fall town meeting spreadsheet, way over to the right, second to last column, there's a funding source. Obviously, you have to get the dollars and cents correct, but the next most important thing is the funding source. And generally, it's going to be free cash, but
Right.
if there's funds
Yep.
associated with the motion or
Such
the-
as enterprise funds or taxation. Great point. Just to reiterate again, I know we just talked about it, but just for the record, we will be voting on the articles as they are written in this draft. If there are any changes, we will capture a revote next week at our next Finance Committee meeting with those amended changes, just so we're all clear on that. Any questions before we kick things off?
Just a very technical question.
Go ahead.
When we read the article, and it says from available funds, what I'm hearing from Pete is that we want to replace available funds from the source.
Yes.
Okay.
And it says it right
Yeah, I see that. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so with that, let's give this, we got some new members here. Pete's going to start us off, so Pete, go ahead.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I move that the committee vote to recommend Article 1, which is for unpaid bills, a total sum of $19,929.36 for unpaid bills. And they break down as follows: $15,752.11 from free cash for various bills as spelled out in the warrant, $9.87 for, from the Sewer Enterprise Reserve for NRG, and $4,167.38 from the Water Enterprise Reserves for the bills as listed in our warrant packet.
Seconded?
It is properly recommended to approve Article 1 as written, properly seconded.
Was
Just-
a motion, right?
There was a motion.
Motion.
Yep, there was a motion and seconded.
You said moved and then you seconded.
Yep.
Discussion.
Yep, and now we're ready for discussion.
So,
Go ahead,
Mr.
Pete.
Chair,
Go ahead.
This is a very ordinary and regular warrant article that we do almost at every town meeting, and it's basically for bills that weren't posted in time to be captured in FY '25. So they will be paid from the various sources paid during this fiscal year with this year's funds.
Thank you. Any other discussion? No more discussion. All those in, what we'll do is, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Unanimously passes, 8-0. All right. Thank you, Pete. Mark, you are up.
All right. I move that the Finance Committee recommend to approve Article 2. Would you like me to
Yep,
read the full?
yep.
To see if the town will vote to transfer from marijuana impact fees free cash the sum of $99,155, and from free cash the sum of $348,075, for a total sum of $447,230 for additional wages and expenses not sufficiently funded under Article 3, operating budgets, of the May 5th, 2025 annual town meeting as follows.
You're gonna, little practice, go ahead and read through those. You can read through the four, yep.
Was there some?
Administration, police, school, try.
Okay.
You see it?
Yep. Administration, social work services, entire community, $17,500. Police, school resource officer salary, $64,321. School adjustment counselor, 1 FTE, $17,334. Tri-County debt assessment, $348,075, for a total for fiscal year 2026, $447,230.
Seconded?
It has been moved to approve Article 2 as written and properly seconded. Discussion. Any discussion? Go ahead, Mark.
I can add a piece later, but this is a typical adjustment, moving cash between various sources.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Not specific to this, but it does relate to this. It's also a good time in the discussion to state the vote parameter,
Right.
in other words, what it takes to pass. So I skipped it in mine, four-fifths vote, and this one, they're bolded, just say this article requires a 2/3 majority or majority vote.
Noted, thank you.
And I
Yeah.
apologize for that.
No, not a problem. These are good exercises to go through, processes to go through, because as we do it now, as we do it in pre-town meeting, as we do it at actual town meeting, you're going to have to read things verbatim. So it's good practice. So comments are welcome here just to help everybody out.
Thank you.
Any further comments or discussion? None? Okay. All those in favor of approval of Article 2, please say aye.
Aye.
Noes? Abstain? All right, 8-0. All right, Article 3, Joyce.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that the Finance Committee recommend approval of Article 3. This article would vote to transfer the care, custody, management, and control of town-owned property identified as 33-013-00 in Book 4405, page 0585, as recorded with the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds, from the Select Board General Municipal Purposes to the Select Board for disposition, or take any other action related to. This was submitted by the Select Board and requires a 2/3 vote.
Seconded?
It is moved to approve Article 3 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead, Joyce.
this is land that the town owns that has no use to the town, but may have use to abutters. So it is similar, it is the same thing that we did last May, where we voted for land that was available for purchase. So we're hoping to do the same.
So I believe this is an add-on
This
from
is an
the
add-on.
prior list.
Yes, from the prior list.
I have a question. Was this parcel of land available for the last town meeting?
Yeah, it was
That
just
should have
Yes,
been
it
on the
was
list?
just
Yeah,
omitted.
it was just.
They said it was missed.
Yeah,
It was missed.
okay. I didn't know if it popped up in between town
No, there
meetings.
was no special circumstance.
Okay.
It was just a missed item.
Okay, any other
Anyone want
further,
to second it?
I did.
Oh, you
Yeah, it's a
did. I'm
discussion
sorry.
right now.
Discussion, I'm sorry.
any other thoughts? Nope. All those in favor of approving Article 3 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? All right, 8-0.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Pete.
I move that the committee vote to recommend Article 4, which is $500,000 from free cash for road, sidewalk construction, design, repair, and maintenance.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved to recommend the Article 4 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
This article would fund by the DPW's priorities, which they manage a pavement plan, and I'll go into more detail during town meeting and pre-town meeting, various priorities for sidewalks, road repair, and there's almost no limit to the amount that I would support for this. $500,000 is in keeping with our past investment. At the fall town meeting, this would allow us to basically plan for projects in the summer, in the construction season. In addition, going forward, we would expect that we would receive what's called Chapter 90 funds. And those are funds that we receive from the state to maintain all kinds of roads, not just 109 or 115, but various roads in the town based on our kind of fair share. So this would require a majority vote.
And just to add on, I know we talked about this, I believe, last meeting. The 500,000 would go to where it's needed. We don't know specifically where at this point in time, right?
Correct, and we'll have that for
Yep.
a future meeting.
Any other thoughts or questions? No? All those in favor of approving Article 4 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? 8-0. All right. Joyce, go ahead. Article
Mr.
5.
Chair,
Yes.
I move that the FinCom recommend approval of Article 5, to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $100,000 for tree pruning, removal, or take any other action related thereto. This was submitted by the Select Board. It requires a majority vote.
Seconded?
Thank you. It's been moved to approve Article 5 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
Mr. Chair, this is money that is in need to be able to take care of trees that are on town land that is, are dead or have partial limbs that are dead. It's for the removal and safety of the town. This is not something that we're just going to lightly go through. It's necessary. Just to give an example, this is in addition to the $25,000 that the DPW gets for pruning. An 8-hour shift can cost $17,000 just for, so it's not something that we're using lightly.
Perfect, thank you. Any other questions or thoughts? No? All those in favor of Article 5 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? 8-0.
I should probably add that there's, because of the cost, it's prevailing wages.
You could add that.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I am up. I move that the Finance Committee recommend approval of Article 6, which is to see if the town will vote to appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds an amount of money to be expended under the direction of the School Building Committee for the design, construction, and furnishing of an addition and renovation of the Millis Middle/High School located at 245 Plain Street. Scope of work includes the construction of new academic wing and renovation of the existing academic spaces and common spaces, inclusive of all building mechanical systems along the associated site, work improvements, and including the payment of all costs incidental and related thereto, which shall have an anticipated useful life as an educational facility for the instruction of school children for at least 50 years, and for which the town may be eligible for a school construction grant from the Massachusetts School Building Authority, also known as MSBA. The town acknowledges that the MSBA's grant program is a non-entitlement discretionary program based on need as determined by the MSBA, and any project costs the town incurs in excess of any grant approved by and received from the MSBA shall be the sole responsibility of the town. Any grant that the town may receive from the MSBA for the project shall not exceed the lesser of 59/800% of eligible approved project cost as determined by the MSBA, or 2, the total maximum grant amount determined by the MSBA, provided that any borrowing of the funds contemplated here under shall be contingent upon passage of a so-called Proposition 2.5 debt exclusion under GLC 59S21C, or take any other action related thereto. This was submitted by the school building committee, and it requires a 2/3 vote.
Seconded.
It has been recommended to approve Article 6 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
I do have a question.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
For the costs incurred to date for, say, Vertex, Tape, all of those services, my understanding is the total sum we've, in terms of the total number for the school project, there's like 1-point-something million dollars that have been spent. That's for the study.
1.3, the feasibility
The
study.
feasibility study. For those costs incurred to date, that is not a part of that. Where is that getting funded from?
Actually, if the project is approved, that 1.3 million is also eligible to get a percentage back from the MSBA program.
So what you're saying, to clarify, is that the 1.3 is inclusive of the work that has been completed or will be
Yeah,
completed
1.3
today?
has been committed. Not the full 1.3 has been expended, but a large portion of
Okay.
it has been.
That's what I was getting caught up
It was
on.
approved
Is
by a
short-
prior town meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the short answer is that if the project were to fail, then the town owns the 1.3 million in
Got it.
total. There'll be no state reimbursement for a portion of that, but if it passes, that 1.3 million is eligible for the same percentage reimbursement
Excellent.
as a included cost of the project.
Thank you.
Great question.
Just a follow-up too, if I may.
Yep.
We've borrowed short-term, tools to be able to handle those expenses and got reimbursements, so far. And we've gone out back to borrow, short-term borrowing for the ineligible expenses as well, and that was like under $50,000. So, in the time that the feasibility study had been approved, the work had been done, we've also paid off, what we borrowed short-term and then reborrowed for another short-term, over these last couple of years until, to get us to this point. But then everything that Mr. Kaczynski said, holds true, and we'll reevaluate the borrowing in its entirety if it's a yes vote or if it's a no vote. It'll just take us in a different direction either way.
And maybe, Jody, you and I can sit down, since this is my article, once the MSBA numbers are finalized and Select Board finalizes the warrant, just to confirm everything. And just to go on Pete's comment before, I did not read any dollar figures yet because it wasn't in the article, but a follow-up on that. So it's a $125 million project. $56,250,000 would be financed through taxation through the town, and MSBA would pay $68,750,000, which is approximately 54% of the project. Pete, you had a question?
Do you have further discussion comments that you've prepared?
I have a few, yeah, but go ahead.
Okay. Typically, for these articles that may be weighty and they're not routine, like Article 1 and 2, and perhaps there are people that haven't decided how they're going to vote. Typically, we have discussion now, real discussion, and people come out in support of or against an article. I've had very brief discussions with very few of you, so I have no idea where you're leaning. I personally am in support of this project, this article, and I'll be voting for it. I think that I'm convinced, I've known that this has been needed, so the need is there. I don't need convincing on the need, and I am convinced that it's gone through the proper process, and it's been done with taxpayer consideration for what the burden will be. And I think I'm struggling for words. Frugal is not the word that I'm looking for, but it's been done responsibly. If you look at other school projects or other projects that any town has done, I think the costs are in line with a responsible fashion for not replacing a school, because that's not what we're doing. And I think everybody needs to choose their words very carefully when they hear the word replacing. We're not replacing a school.
Yeah.
We're renovating it, and we're adding to it to meet the needs of the students of the town for decades to come.
So let me, great thoughts and comments. Let me add my commentary here, which might help round out some discussion or satisfy everybody. But, you know, looking at all the information, looking at the Millis School Project website, everybody's been involved in this since day one. Well, going back to November 10th of 2022, which was when the town meeting approved Article 6, was the $1.3 million feasibility study. Shortly after that, Select Board appointed the School Building Committee. There's 14 members on the School Building Committee. They've had over 44 meetings. They've had permanent building committee meetings. They've had open forum to the public meetings. TAPE Architects, who have been involved from the start, Vertex, has been involved from the start, gathering all the data and looking at all the needs of the school and the town. Massachusetts School Building Authority, the SBC committee has been working with them throughout the last 2+ years. Millis School Committee has been working with everybody, Permanent Building Committee, Select Board, Finance Committee, Capital Planning Committee, and the School Administration, Bob Mulaney and others. So this has been, to your point, properly vetted. There's documentation, there's videos, there's everything that you could think of out there that's available to the public. Is there a need for it? 100%. I'm not going to go through all those reasons, but the building was built in 1966. Things that are being stressed right now are the HVAC system, the fire alarm system, the roof, electrical security, technology. There's a lot of things that are starting to wither on the vine, if you will. Over the summer is when the School Building Committee came to Select Board and recommended option AR4A. And there's 7 different options available that they put together, school building put together. Everything from a standard renovation, which is the do-nothing plan, to a brand-new building, and variations in between. And this one is the best option available and the cost-friendly option available in terms of what MSBA is providing. So, you know, we had questions when the School Building Committee came in here last time, had a lot of great questions, a lot of good conversations. For residents out there, they're like, I don't want to spend any more money. You will be spending more money in the long term in terms of going for overrides year after year over a 10-year period. that amount is somewhere in the neighborhood, I'm looking at the details here, of 76 million total cost, which is far greater, about 20 million more than the AR, I also have to look, AR4A option, which I hate to say cheapest, but it's the cheapest option, but it's also the best option. So, so I'm consolidating my thoughts for town meeting, but I thought I'd share those for now. If people have any other comments or additional comments they want to add or questions, feel free. Go ahead, Mike.
I'd just like to correct you on one thing. You mentioned the HVAC system. They actually have an HV system. There is no AC.
True.
Which is one of the biggest issues at the school today. But I think, as you illustrated and as Peter spoke about and we've said before, this is the best deal that the town's going to get. We're not going to have a project built at this dollar figure in the future. We may never get this kind of contribution from the state in the future. In fact, if we don't vote on it at this town meeting, we'd be blocked for another 6 years, is it, Mike?
Yeah, we'd get in the back of the line, and they estimate now it'd be in the 5 to 6 year range, which is basically what the town of Medfield went through with their elementary school project.
Right.
They're back in line, but it failed like 4 years ago, but they're still couple years out from being able to get to that same place.
And I would reiterate, your point, Mr. Chair, that there isn't a question as to whether a renovation is necessary. A building built in the 60s, renovated to some extent in the 70s, it makes no sense that this building can survive considerably longer. So the inevitable is here. If we postpone the inevitable, we simply pay more money. So my position is, it's a great deal. I think we should take advantage of it, especially with the contribution from the state. So I, too, will be recommending approval of this.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead, Joyce.
And for everyone's reasons, yours, Mike's, Pete's, I have to agree. And I am a senior citizen, but even the senior citizens in this, that I've spoken to are all in favor. They see the need. Of course, there are people who are concerned about their increase in taxes, but they do see the need. There is a need. They also remind people that there is an exemption for certain people certain senior citizens who meet the circuit breaker requirements, so that they could file for.
Yeah, it's a great point. And just to add on, I'm going to mention that at town meeting as well, because there's about 7 different programs for tax relief.
Yeah.
Various variables and whether or not you qualify. But I think that's a very good point to bring up, that this is good for the town overall, regardless of age, and it's great for the future, period.
Absolutely. And just to, for those who are seniors, if they're interested in learning more about this, there will be a meeting in November downstairs at the Council on Aging. So this group has done an exceptional job of educating the public. There's been no hiding anything. It has been, I sometimes get tired of hearing the word transparent, but they have been truly transparent. The transparency's been there. The group that's been in charge of this has truly taken every bit to their, utmost to protect the taxpayer and to provide our town with the best possible scenario. And people realize that putting Band-Aids on the school over a 10-year, because it would take 10 years to be able to put the Band-Aids, it's not worth it.
Yep. And I believe the last time anything was added was in, I thought it was 1999. I thought I had it here. But it's been a long time since there's been any attention to it. No, thank you for your comments. Okay, if there's no other discussion, all those in favor of approving Article 6 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Passes unanimously.
Excellent.
Going
Mr.
on
Chair.
to Article 7. Eric.
I move that the Finance Committee vote to recommend approval of Article 7, to see if the town will vote to appropriate and raise by taxation, transfer from available funds, or borrow the sum of $208,180 to fund the following capital items. Number 1, some gas meters for the fire department at a cost of $30,410 to be paid from free cash. For the planning committee, general code software to be paid for the amount of $16,500 to be, also to be paid from free cash. For the DPW, downtown light poles, for a cost of $70,900 to be paid from free cash. And also for the DPW, a Chevy 350
3,500.
3,500. I was trying to figure out how to say that. I knew there was a rhythm to it. Chevy 3,500 dump truck with plow and sander for $90,370, and that's to be paid from, in equal measure from the water, sewer, general, and stormwater funds. For a total of $208,180, $208,180, or to take any other action thereto related. This was submitted by the Select Board and requires a majority vote if we are not borrowing.
Seconded.
It's been moved to approve Article 7 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
Mr. Chair.
I'm just saying this is why we do this, a little practice, right?
Yeah, no, it feels good.
Go ahead, Eric.
It's been a while since I've said numbers,
Yeah.
apparently. Just a few notes on these 4 items. So the first item for the fire department, the gas meters. Just to clarify, these are not the meters that sit outside of buildings. These are the meters that the fire department uses when going into buildings to detect things like carbon monoxide, propane, methane, flammable gases. And this is also a bit of a placeholder, so there's a state earmark for the $30,410. If that does not come through, if it's not released by the state, then we will use these funds. We're of course hoping that that money's going to come through. The general code software for $16,500. This is quite a bit more professional services than it is software itself. So it's a software to manage, our, some of our key pieces of policies. So our charter, our the general,
Bylaws, yep.
the bylaws and the zoning bylaws. But in addition to that, this gives us access to their subject matter experts to review those documents to make sure that they are compliant and are correct. And it also transfers some liability from the town to the company we're buying this from if there does happen to be any errors. Moving on to DPW, the downtown light poles, so these are mostly replacements for lights that have been damaged due to vehicles hitting them or snow removal. We are, I believe, replacing 7, and we are having 3 extras in spare. And then the Chevy 3,500 dump truck, this is a daily use vehicle they have. This is actually going to be an upgrade from what they have, in that this will hold 3 more occupants. So it'll make, for instance, getting help over the summer moved around quite a bit easier. And this is an expense that we've seen coming for quite a long time. So this one's no surprise.
Perfect, thank you. Any further discussion? We had Jonathan Berry earlier, and now we had you adding some color around it, so I think it looks pretty good. All those in favor of approving Article 7 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Abstain? No? We're out of order there. 8-0. Thank you, Eric. All right.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
I move that the committee vote to recommend approval of Article 8 to see if the town will vote to appropriate the sum of $20,000 from the Community Preservation Open Space Reserve Fund for the design of a universally accessible trail in the public portion of the Glen Ellen project, or to take any other action in relation thereto. And this was submitted by the Community Preservation Committee and requires a majority vote.
Second.
It has been moved to approve Article 8 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
So this is an interesting project. So this is for the design-only portion of this, but the public trails that are behind the Glen Ellen project And these trails were part of the deal by which that development was established, that there would be trails open to the public. So this takes the trails as they are and then upgrades them so that they are ADA compliant, universally accessible. The hope is that this is going to bring more people into the town to use these trails. This is also a bit of a unique opportunity in that if we build it, and Mr. Kaczynski, check me on this one. If we build it, the Glen Ellen project is actually responsible for its maintenance.
Yes, the Glen Ellen Association will be maintaining it, but because, again, this is open to the public, we have a permanent recreation easement on it. That's why community preservation funds can be used towards the construction of this project.
And elements of the project include, I believe, widening some trails, adding a bridge, which all sound like nice things. And yeah, it seems like a nice way for us to punch above our weight to establish some trails without a lot of ongoing expense associated with it.
Perfect. Any other additional thoughts or comments, questions?
Just that I believe it's a 2-mile. Is it a 2-mile
I
trail?
think it's a mile out and back.
Oh,
Ooh.
I thought it was, okay.
Maybe 2 mile total.
Do you know?
I did hear 2 miles, but I don't know
The
if
total-
any of that overlaps or
The
not.
total of 2 miles, but the section that they're talking about is a shorter period, a shorter section than that. So it won't be the entire 2 miles, it won't be the entire length of the walkways, it'll just be a portion of it. Some of it can't be upgraded, just the
Because of the
topography
wetlands?
and everything, yeah.
Okay.
You just might want to verify that with Nate.
Yeah, I'm gonna
or,
check on that.
John Stedman.
Yeah, that's what he had said when he came in that night.
Okay. If there's no other further discussion, all those in favor of approving Article 8 as written, please say aye. Aye. Oppose? Abstain? 8-0.
Okey dokey.
All right. Article 9, Mark.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I vote that the Finance Committee vote to recommend the approval of Article 9 to see if the town will vote to amend Article 6, Section 2 of the general bylaws as follows. 2, contracting authority. A, contracts or purchases under $10,000 shall be awarded and executed by the department heads. B, contracts for purchases between $10,001 and $50,000 shall be awarded and executed by the chief procurement officer, except school department contracts which shall be awarded by the school department and executed by the chief procurement officer. C, contracts exceeding $50,001 shall be awarded by the select board and executed by the chief procurement officer, except school department contracts which shall be awarded by the school department and executed by the chief procurement officer, or take any other action related thereto. This was submitted by the select board and requires a majority vote.
Second.
Perfect. Thank you. So it has been moved to approve Article 9 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
This is a standard update to the general bylaws as is required. I'll fill in additional details.
Okay. So maybe get a few more details.
Just a little
Yeah.
backup on that.
Yep.
I mean, the main driver of this is because this was originally enacted, I believe, back in the 70s or 80s. So these numbers are just way out of date. So really the
Yep.
only change here is the numbers have gone up. And the numbers also match the legal procurement thresholds by the state. $10,000 is the threshold, and if it's below 10,000, the awarding of contracts is just by sound business practices. Between 10,000 and 50,000, it's required the solicitation of 3 bids, and above 50,000, it's sealed bids and posting in the general register. So it's a clean, and it's basically what the state recommends, and it's the clean cutoffs under state law. So it's just bringing these numbers up to really today's reality.
Yep.
of
Today's
the
numbers.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Are those 2025 numbers too? The 50s? All the updates, I would imagine?
Yes.
Okay, versus like last year's or something like that.
No, they're updated.
30B.
Yeah,
Just
30B.
saying that the state procurement laws, as Mike was mentioning, were last updated in November of last year, so this is right in line with current Mass General law.
Great. So just maybe touch base with Mike and get some more details
Yep,
around
I
that
will.
stuff. That'd be great.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts, questions, comments? None. Okay. For Article 9, hang on a second here.
All those in favor?
Thank you. Going through repetition here. All those in favor of approving Article 9 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? 8-0. Thank you. Thank you, Mike, for
Yeah.
hitting the needle on the record there. I don't know if some people don't know what that is, but,
That's all right.
all right.
Mr. Chair,
My
Not even a
turntable
CD.
works.
Go ahead, Mike.
Mr. Chair, I recommend that the FinCom approve, I move to recommend that the FinCom approve Article 10 to see if the town will vote to amend Article 11, Section 2 of the general bylaws.
We're on Article 10 right now.
What's that?
Article 10.
You're going to do 11 in just a minute.
Oh, you asked me to do this one, I thought. Nope, sorry, my fault.
No, we
No, that
are,
was correct.
you are doing that.
You are
but
doing,
mentioned
you are doing
it
this,
in-
but then this is Heidi's, and you're going to do that after.
Yeah.
You mentioned Article 10, then you mentioned
Well, it's
Article
So
11.
it's part
Article
of
11, so this is Article 10,
Is to amend.
but this is, we're amending Article 11 of Section 2 of the bylaws. So Article 10 is the warrant article.
Yeah.
Article 11 is the section of the bylaws.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, so,
I'll take responsibility. I think I
You didn't do
misinterpreted
anything
that.
wrong.
no.
All right. I just want to see how you handle
We can
was
certainly
just-
see
he
how.
was
handle
just-
questions like
he was
that.
just
Sorry for
checking you.
interrupting.
Don't
Keep-
mess with me.
I know. All right,
You're
keep
just
going.
checking.
Keep going.
This is how things they can get confusing
They
at town
can.
meeting.
It is
You know,
Article
and
10.
we've seen this in the past. Somebody's gonna stand
11.
up and say, is it Article 10 or
I
Article 11?
thought we were talking about leaf blowing all of a sudden, so,
right.
all right, so resume. Sorry to interrupt you.
Disturbing the peace.
You want to start fresh?
We'll start first.
All right, start fresh.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I recommend that the Finance Committee approve, I move that the Finance Committee approve Article 10 to see if the town will vote to amend Article 11, Section 2 of the general bylaws, as stated here in the warrant article. It will increase the fines for first offense to $50, increasing the fines for second offense to $100, increasing the fines for third offense to $300, and all subsequent offenses will be fined $500. This requires a majority vote.
Second.
It has been recommended to approve Article 10 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
This article revolves around disturbance by pets, including dogs specifically in this article. The disturbing portion of the article hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed are the fees for the offenses, and this is in keeping with state requirements for such fees, and they had to be increased in order to stay within the requirements of state law.
Any other questions or thoughts? None. Okay. All those in favor of approving Article 10 as written, please say aye. Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Passes 8-0. All right.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I move that the Finance Committee approve Article 11 to see if the town will vote to amend Article 7, Article 8 of the general bylaws by adding the following after Section 50. Section 51, commercial gas-powered leaf blower noise. A, commercial landscaper is defined as a person or entity receives compensation to utilize landscape maintenance equipment, including leaf blowers on another's property. A commercial landscaper does not include a resident of the property or a high school student working as a self-employed sole proprietor. Permitted hours of use for gas-powered leaf blowers may be operated by commercial landscapers only during the following times: Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Sundays and legal holidays prohibited, except for the operation by a resident of the property on which the landscape maintenance equipment is operated between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. The exemption is for gas-powered leaf blowers that may be used without limitation when necessary for public safety and emergency situations as determined by the town's police department, fire department, or town administrator. This article requires a majority vote.
Did you want to finish it here?
Or as, and as stipulated further in the warrant article.
In paragraphs 2 and 3.
Yes.
Can I get a
Second.
Second. Thank you. It has been recommended to approve Article 11 as written. It is a lengthy article and properly seconded. Discussion.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
This article will put limitations on the use of gas-powered leaf blowers, which are considered to be the loudest of commercial equipment that is used for landscape maintenance. This is in keeping with what several other communities in the region have enacted in order to quell some of the noise during active hours of the day, or rather, I should say, inactive hours of the day prior to 7 a.m. and after 5 p.m.
Further discussion? Go ahead, Pete.
Mr. Chair, I won't belabor this, but
Yep.
I'm surprised that the language now includes a high school student, whereas previously we got very generic, or town council got very generic on how this was written, and now we're saying a high school student is exempt. Is a middle schooler not exempt? Is a non-student somebody else operating as a self-employed sole proprietor that is not a high school student? That needs to be struck. The high school student, but I would still vote to support the article. It's just,
Yeah.
it's a mistake.
So great comment. If Select Board wishes to change that next week, we would vote again on this article if they take that out.
I think the reason they have the high school student in there is you do see students above the age of 16 doing landscape maintenance, and I think they didn't want to inhibit the ability of a high school student or a person above the age of 16 as a sole proprietor trying to make some extra money. I
Yeah, that's a
understand your
good-
point. I
College
understand your
students
point.
home on summer, I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a poor choice of words.
Yeah, and I think the prior sentence, it says resident of the property. So whether you're older or younger.
What are your thoughts on that, Mike?
Well, I mean, I think it's a minor issue, but I also think it's, it could lead to some confusion, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have an objection if it's removed.
Okay.
I could certainly bring back the commentary from the Finance Committee back to the Select Board just for their consideration.
Just tell all high school students to use a electric
Electric powered. A rake.
Yeah.
Was that your question, Brett?
Yeah, it's
as well?
similar reaction.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great if you could let us know on that. That'd be,
Absolutely.
okay. With that said, any other further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor of Article 11 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Passes 8-0. Okay. Jen, Article 12.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that the Finance Committee vote to recommend approval of Article 9, which is to see if the town will vote to amend the Town of Millis zoning bylaw, Section 3C, Establishment of Zoning District zoning map, in order to amend the Town of Millis zoning map accordingly to be in compliance with the updated 2025 FEMA flood insurance rate maps, or to take any other action related thereto. The map is indicated in the warrant. I can't really recapitulate that or recap that verbally. A two-thirds vote is required.
Second.
Okay, it's been recommended to approve Article 12 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
It is my understanding this is a fairly formulaic thing needed to install the map and in the zoning laws so that people can get their insurance adequately
Okay.
issued.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Just to clarify, I heard Article 9.
I did
said
too.
During the
Oh,
discussion. I
did
think
I
it's
say
Article
that?
12. I don't think you need to go back,
I
but
don't think so either.
clarify, we are voting on Article 12.
12.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
three of us heard it, and it's on tape.
all right, Article 12.
Okay.
Do I need to, I can
No.
do it. That's fine. I don't,
I think it proves a few things. One, we're paying attention, and two, we haven't lost our hearing yet, so. Go ahead, Mike.
I think also it should be mentioned that this is a required for us to be, to update our maps and update our bylaws in order to keep in compliance with FEMA and state and federal laws.
Great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not really a voluntary action by the town. We really have to do this to come in compliance with the federal flood maps. Otherwise, it's going to cause major problems for all the properties that are within these flood zones.
question. So you
Yep.
can't ever just amend the bylaws without the people's vote? Like, if it's mandatory, it just seems silly that we have to even vote on this, like, why not?
Because we
just
have
vote it?
bylaws, and our
Yeah.
bylaws, aren't set by the state, so we can set our own bylaws, but if they violate state laws, the state at some point is going to either make us change the bylaw, or they're going to create havoc. And one of the havoc would be that we'd have FEMA maps that would be out of sync. And if our FEMA map is used by a flood cert company, and the real FEMA map that should be in play is a different map, then there is problems, and specifically with getting mortgages.
Mortgages, getting the
Yeah.
proper insurance.
Proper insurance,
It's
yep.
gonna cause a lot of problems. Yes.
Okay, I would agree on all those points. Any other further thoughts, questions? Nope. Okay, all those in favor of approving Article 12 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Passes 8-0. Well, I'll take the next one because Heidi's not here. Let's see here. Okay. I move that the Finance Committee recommends approval of Article 13, which is to see if the town will vote to amend the Millis zoning bylaws as most recently amended by amending Section 5 using Regulations H with respect to access dwelling units as follows, or take any other action relative thereto. Section B, dimensional requirements from number 2, ADU shall comply with any of all frontage, setback, height, and lot coverage requirements as they may be applicable to single-family homes as contained in Section 6 of the zoning bylaws. 2, change that to, Section 2, ADU shall comply with the most permissive of any and all frontage, setback, height, and lot coverage requirements as may be applicable to principal residential structures or accessory structures in the subject zoning district as contained in Section 6 of the zoning bylaws. Add, Section 3, conversions of existing non-residential accessory structures to ADUs are permitted provided that either, 1, the existing accessory structure complies with the above described dimensional requirements, or 2, a conversion of an existing pre-existing non-conforming accessory structure is not externally enlarged or expanded unless an enlargement or expansion receives a favorable finding by the Zoning Board of Appeals that the proposed structure is not more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing non-conforming structure. C, parking from Section 2, parking may be in a driveway or garage, but the parking space may not be a tandem space with a parking space for the primary structure. Change it to Section 2, parking may be in a driveway or garage, but the parking space may not be a tandem space with a parking space for the primary dwelling unit. E, relationship to nonconformities from if an attached ADU is proposed for a pre-existing non-conforming single-family primary residence, the requirements of Section IX.B9, thank you, of the zoning bylaws shall apply as may be required, provided that no special permit may be considered the ADU's use or impose conditions of such use. Change to, if an attached ADU is proposed for any pre-existing or non-conforming single-family primary residence, any modification or enlargement of said primary residence shall require a favorable finding by the Zoning Board of Appeals that the proposed altered structure is not more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing non-conforming structure, provided that no finding may consider the ADU use or impose conditions on such use. Submitted by the Planning Board, and this requires a majority vote. Second. Thank you. It has been recommended to approve Article 13 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Pete, go ahead.
Asserting that legalese is not real English and doesn't help any of us understand any of this stuff. In paragraph 3, you read the words, fourth line down, conversion of an existing pre-existing. I don't know what an existing pre-existing is. Perhaps it's legalese. And I'm not asking for anybody to...
I can describe it to you.
I'm not asking for anybody to explain it to
I
me.
can put
I'm
my
asking
watch on
that-
it.
I'm asking that somebody confirm that that was their intent to use existing, pre-existing.
Yes.
Thank you.
The
And-
term, so.
Go ahead.
So a pre-existing use, so you have bylaws, zoning bylaws. And zoning bylaws change over time. So if I had a house that was built under zoning bylaw A, and then they have a new bylaw, which is more restrictive, I'm a pre-existing use. And as a pre-existing use, I'm not subject to the new zoning bylaw. So what they're talking about here is existing, pre-existing uses, meaning somebody has a house that doesn't meet today's bylaw, maybe setback requirements, side lot requirements are not met. It's a tighter lot, whatever. And that in a lot of this language here, what they're saying is if you've got a pre-existing use, you're okay to some extent. However, you might have to go through a more thorough process with the planning board in getting your ADU approved. If your house meets current zoning bylaws, then you don't have to do that. You can build it as a matter of right within, the requirements of current zoning bylaws. So a pre-existing use, if it doesn't meet current bylaws, this explains what you would have to do in order to have an ADU approved.
That's a great answer, Mike. Go ahead, Eric.
I know it probably still doesn't make sense, but
It does a
does to
little-
me.
it does to me. Pete, does that make sense to you a little bit more?
This is why if I ever did this, I would hire an attorney.
I know.
Probably Mr. Crone. I have no desire to understand what
Yeah.
this says. It was described to us by the planning board, and I'm fine with it. It looks like a typo, and his explanation just wants me to say, well, why doesn't everywhere else it say pre-existing, have an existing in front of it? I don't want to know. Please don't explain it to me. I will hire an attorney.
Please don't bring it up in town meeting either.
Yeah. Go ahead, Eric.
So this will be a familiar article to anyone that was at the last town meeting, because we voted on basically what this is coming from. So my understanding of this is that the last time we amended our zoning bylaws for ADUs, we ran it by the state council, and this article is really just the modifications that they asked us to make to stay in line with the state
Correct.
guidelines.
Correct.
The
And
Attorney
ma-
General.
Go ahead.
General's office sent it back with required revisions. They felt it was still too strict under the new state law, that we had to remove a few of the restrictions we left in it. So basically, it lifts some of those restrictions just a little more, and they explained exactly to us what we needed to do to meet the requirements of the state. And essentially, that's what the planning board did.
So there would have.
Go ahead, Jen.
Sorry, there would have
Yeah.
also been an opportunity for that council to have caught the pre-existing existing thing if there was something amiss with it. One would hope, because it's like, how many attorneys have looked at it at this point, which they could still miss stuff. I've seen stuff, but yeah. How many attorneys does it take to miss a
Oh,
letter?
yeah.
A lot.
That's right. I would hope. So I will email Heidi and have her touch base with Rich Nichols as well as Nicole Riley.
And Camille, probably.
And Camille. But basically, yeah, Eric, to your point, we're basically saying, the state's saying modify it, we're saying, okay, we're going to modify it, here it is.
If I may, too.
Yep.
I mean, it's as subtle as, if you look at C, parking, the previous one says for the primary structure. The change says for the primary dwelling unit. So the primary structure could be anything, but ADUs are related to a dwelling unit. So if the primary structure was a garage in the back or a commercial space, so they just wanted us to redefine it to indicate it's a dwelling unit. But that's how minor the change can be.
Yeah, I think it's important to note also that this is it's not adding additional restrictions or laws that people need to be aware of. If anything, it makes it a little bit more permissive, but only minorly to bring it in line with the state guidelines.
Great.
Agreed. If there's no more further discussion, all those in favor of approving Article 13 as written, please say aye. Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Passes 8-0. All right, moving along. We're getting there. All right. Jen, you are up for Article 14.
Okay, I move that the Finance Committee vote to recommend approval of Article 14 to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds the sum of $59,000 to fund a state-required total asset valuation recertification for the town of Millis, or take any other action related thereto. Oh, this
Oh,
requires
oh.
a majority vote.
And
Don't
it's
cut her off.
it's from free
Yeah.
cash.
And it's from free cash. Oh, that is not in there, but I will.
Yeah,
It's on
that's,
it's
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Free cash,
yep.
just those funding source.
just so that you're aware that is,
I will add that in my diatribe for the real thing.
yeah.
All right.
And Mr. Chairman, I just,
Hang on, we're not to discussion yet.
I was just going to mention this.
Okay.
That
I guess we are.
Care about it.
I'm not discussing this.
Oh, you're not?
I'm making a separate point.
Okay.
I just want, and I meant to mention this earlier, but You will have your, the motions for all these articles for you at your next meeting, and all the motions will contain the funding source.
Yes.
So I know you have a chart that outlines it, but it'll all be put together in the motion
Yep.
for you at your meeting next week.
Any other points for Jen before we approve it? Oh, okay. Okay, just want to make sure. It has been moved to recommend Article 14 as written and properly seconded. Discussion? Or any points? Nothing.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
What does this total, so I know it's state required. What's the asset valuation recertification do? Like, could this make people's taxes go up depending what it was? Or what, yeah,
It's the assessor's valuation.
It allows for a more intensive assessor evaluation of the properties in the town, more intense than it's done on a more regular basis. So this is every 5 years. Under state law, the town has to basically hire specialists to come in and do a much more intensive review of all the properties in the town. So it's basically just, it's like a check on that to make sure that it's as accurate as possible.
Yeah, every property in the town will be reassessed. They'll look at each property and determine if there've been any changes, any valuation changes, all of those things. So every 5 years, the assessor's office is mandated to do this under state law. It used to be 3 years, now it's 5 years.
Mr. Chair?
And you could probably get some more details from the assessor's office, talking to Teresa.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Pete.
Is it a records audit or is it a property audit?
Physical.
Yeah, property audit, yeah.
They'll send people out
Yeah.
on the road and look at the houses. They may not get in, they will request to get in, but they may not get in, but they'll do an evaluation from the outside.
We can have that discussion later. Does that answer your question? Perfect. Any other thoughts, comments? Okay, if there's no other discussion, then all those in favor of approving Article 14 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? 8-0, it passes.
Can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
Why wasn't this in the assessor's budget for the current year? They knew it was coming.
Well, it's basically a policy decision that instead of throwing off the budgets every year, because we do have like a revenue sharing split with the school and all that, and since it would be loaded into their budget, it would throw off those calculations.
Okay.
So this is just a once every 5 years item. It's a special item, so we just put it in the warrant
That
every
makes
5
sense,
years.
okay.
Mr. Chair?
Thank you.
Go ahead, Pete.
I am surprised, and I think maybe something doesn't make sense to me. I'm very surprised that it only costs $59,000 to do a physical audit of all, or physical assessment of all of the properties in Millis. I don't know if it's every 5 years a sample, but there's no way, is what I'm saying.
Correct.
There's no way that they're gonna audit all.
I would
of the
agree.
properties.
I would agree.
And I would say if you have enough interest in it and have those questions, you might want to have, the principal assessor come in and talk about it a little bit. And I would agree that they probably, half the homes they aren't able to get into. You'd be surprised how many people just decline when they say, can we come into your home? So a lot of it is simply a quick drive-by and looking at it because they can't get access. And I can't tell you specifically the exact level of detail they go into, but I would agree that, if you say there's 3,000 homes, say that would only be $20, a home, which doesn't seem like a lot in order to do a full appraisal. But again, it's the scope and level that I think is the key issue here that I can't answer.
I'm not looking to increase the dollar amount, I'm just looking
Yeah.
to describe it properly.
Go ahead, Mike.
So, I was on the Board of Assessors for a bunch of years in Westwood. So you hire a company and they do it. They give it a per unit cost for you. And it isn't a lot of money. And sometimes they send kids out. Not kids, but, people that aren't really, they're not real, they're not super assessors. And what they're doing is they're making a physical examination of the property and bringing that back to the company. The company has, a lot of this now is data that's already in software. So all of the record keeping of the assessors, most of that is now digital. So all they do is just tap some information in related to, it's still there. There is no addition on the side. So it's not as comprehensive as you might think it is. But it is still state mandated that they do at least a physical analysis and then recalculate what the true values of the houses are today. So the other thing they'll do in this is they'll make a determination based on sales that have gone on. They do that somewhat over the 5 years in the interim, but this will be now a very comprehensive analysis. So you may have valuations go up. That doesn't mean your taxes necessarily go up because, you know, the amount of money the town spends is voted by town meeting. What your assessment is can vary from time to time. So you may pay less taxes if your assessment went down. If your assessment goes up, you may pay some more taxes.
Jen, if I may, it would be great to see some data from the assessor's office, actually. Going to give you a homework assignment. Just educate us a little bit more, maybe on what the trends were over time and kind of like how it's modernized, if not, or if
Yeah,
people are getting
I'll
rejected.
give you that.
I think it'd be good to learn about that a little bit more.
Well, I thought it was a high school student that went around.
Could be,
Could be, with his blower.
could be.
Yeah, with
All
his
right.
blower,
Moving on to
Mr.
Article
but not a college
15.
student.
Mr.
Hang on,
Chair.
yeah, go ahead, Brett.
Hello.
Come on, we're almost there, guys.
I move that the Finance Committee recommend approval of Article 15 to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $8,200 to fund an actuarial study of the OPEB trust fund account or take any other action related thereto. This is, requires majority vote.
Second.
It has been recommended for approval of Article 15 as written and properly seconded. Any discussion regarding OPEB trust fund account?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
This is required by law every other year, and like the total asset evaluation, it is not included in the operating budget, so it requires a separate vote for approval.
Great call. Pretty standard article that we see in the town meetings. If there's no other discussion, all those in favor of approving Article 15 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Passes 8-0.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I move that the Finance Committee recommend approval of Article 16 to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $100,000 to the OPEB trust fund account or take any other action related thereto. This requires a majority vote.
Second.
It's been moved to approve Article 16 as written and properly seconded. Discussion.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
This is a once-a-year transfer. We have increased the contribution this year from the past year. Last year was $50,000. And this is, I don't have that note, but this improves how we look for our bond rating. I also have a couple of other notes over here about the OPEB trust account covering claims for, and I need to define this, it's the other post-employment benefits account,
Yep.
trust fund account. And then Mr. Gazinski, I have a note here from the, I think the last year's fall, town meeting that the estimated, so let me put it this way, currently the town has blank in the OPEB trust fund account and is covering claims as needed out of the general operating budget is what the statement says. However, the estimated shortfall to cover all estimated obligations is about, and then blank. Is that a level of detail that I can reach out to you for if
Yeah,
accurate?
actually, it would be Jody.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
great.
but if you want to reach out to me, I'll certainly, or Jody, I can
Yeah,
forward it to her.
I can reach
So
out to
easy
Jody,
enough.
yeah. And then, just making sure I covered everything. Yeah, and I've said everything else that I've written down.
Great. Go ahead, Pete.
I would just recommend that you state that when you define OPEB, that it mainly consists of health insurance for retirees. That is the bulk of the.
That is
Yeah.
95% of it, yeah.
And that's very OPEB could mean anything to anybody, but when you say it's health
Yeah.
insurance for retirees, that makes sense.
And it's for former governmental employees?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, former employees of the town.
Non-teachers.
Yeah. Teachers are covered by a separate,
Separate.
separate retirement fund.
Okay, thank you.
Good point. Thank you. Any other thoughts or comments? Okay. Go ahead.
I just have a random question about the OPEB trust fund in general. So we are contributing to it, and in the meanwhile, So we're below what we consider, what would be considered to be fully funded into the account.
Well below.
Which is a lot of towns,
Just,
in general.
I'm not criticizing.
I noticed.
And then, so then, while we're below that, we're paying claims out of operating funds.
Yes, we're basically paying all claims out of our current operational budget, or all premiums. all
premiums, yeah.
Premiums, okay.
Use that term.
What happens when, some years down the line, we're fully funded into OPEB? Do
Our health
premiums
ins-
start being funded out of that instead of operating?
Yes, so I'll probably be long retired by the time that happens, and
too.
quite honest, the OPEB requirement for towns to start funding that is only about 10 years old. It only started about 10 years ago. And there's still some debate out there about whether that's needed, but it was a rule put in place by the federal standards, and we basically have to follow that to try to, in order to keep our bond rating at a good level, we have to try to fund it as much as we can. So essentially, what we've been told by our auditors and bond counsel is that you want to at least make some attempt to put some money in there every year. And once it's paid off, and there's only maybe 2 or 3 towns in the whole state that have either paid it off, like Wellesley and a couple other towns. And Wellesley did it by passing overrides to fund it, essentially. And so this essentially will probably be funded a lot better once our retirement system is fully funded, which right now we're looking at about 10 years out for our retirement system. At that point, the town will be in a better position to start funding this at a much higher level. But right now, this is really the best approach. And yes, theoretically, our health insurance premiums will be reduced once we switch over and fully fund this. But again, I mean, you're looking at probably 20 to 30 years out before this probably would be fully funded.
Eric will still be on the FinCom.
Could be.
Pete will be.
Okay, I got to keep you around. Just joking. Any other questions, thoughts? No? Okay. All those in favor of approving Article 16 as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Passes 8-0. That concludes. So, just to reiterate again, I'll talk to Deirdre, Mike, make sure if there's any changes on any of these articles, then we will revisit those articles next week, and we will talk about those changes. But as of now, we are good to go on that. Any final comments from you, Mike, at all, or
No.
Nope. you're happy?
I'm happy. I think it was the first time since I've been here that there's been unanimous
I agree.
support for every article
Yep.
on the warrant.
Well,
Yep.
Heidi's not here.
So, thank you for all your efforts. And
Yeah.
I will see you back here next Wednesday with a final approved warrant.
Perfect.
And I will, next Tuesday morning, I will let you know of any changes that may be made to the warrant, including the suggested change regarding Article 11.
Perfect, that'd be great. Awesome. Thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate your guidance. Yes,
One brief comment.
go ahead. Yeah.
So, just, so Mike said it earlier, or maybe somebody else, these will not be what we read. It will be motions crafted by town attorney and reviewed, and you will read those verbatim, so you
Yeah.
don't need to insert words and
Yeah.
things like that. So the motions get read verbatim. I would recommend that you, in your discussion comments, you do kind of take effort to explain it to people who haven't done this, who haven't been participating, and that would be a couple things that I saw, like the gas meters, they're not gas meters, they're gas detectors, or they're gas detectors and meters. Just something simple like that helps people understand what the heck we're talking about. The strike-through language in here, if that's in the motion,
Thanks, Mike.
I would
Thanks.
You're
recommend
good.
that we ask, like, what do you want me to read? You want me to read strike-through, like
right, exactly.
$50 is $100? I don't know how you read that.
Yeah.
Versus a reference point of what it was from and what
I
it's
get
changing
it, I get
to.
it.
Or
but
can
how
we
you
just
read
say
it-
as written?
Yeah, and Brutus may tell you, after you make your motion, he's going to synopsize, if he synopsizes everything, then you don't really have to read everything, and you'll see the people in front of you, he'll give us the poo-poo, you know, don't bother reading all the details and stuff. But you have to read the motion, so.
And exactly
Yeah.
the way, if you, because I know for a fact, because I've made a mistake. And because I was reading from a previous, and it had been amended, it had been changed, and I was going through an old one. So you really have to make sure that it's most current and that you verbatim.
Your discussion comments, I recommend you write them down.
Yeah.
They can be format, they can be narrative format. If you're Craig Schultz and you're gifted at this stuff, you can just speak off the cuff extemporaneously and you'll be good to go. But just make it so that.
And less is better.
Yeah, so,
And
so
there is-
start at 30,000 feet with a real general answer, but have your supporting details ready if there are questions, or if you want to go deeper.
Right.
And have somebody to read it.
Well, I
Yeah,
think,
there's also a
I think the other
script.
thing we should do, however, is, look, all of these have been presented by.
Others.
By others, specifically many of them by the select board. So I think when it comes to further discussion, we should really rely on the select board. If questions come up, I'm sure Craig will stand and so forth, as usually has been the case in
Yep.
town meeting.
So, good point. So, you know, we're gonna have all of our points and convey the articles. That's the whole role of the FinCom. If questions come from the residents, the audience, then select board's there to help, as well as DPW and the department experts of whatever it might be. If someone has a question about gas meters, Chief Barrett will come down and explain what it is. So you'll have help, but make sure you have a good, solid understanding of it, you know, 80% of it.
The other thing is, there is a script, and I'd be happy to provide you with it. It's what you, the process of what's said, because you sometimes get overwhelmed. Like, was I supposed to do, you know, like, discussion, you know, Mr. Chair, da-da, there's the protocol.
I write mine out too, and I'll send out a sample to everybody.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because there'll be Mr. Moderator will start, and you'll say, Mr. Moderator will say, yes, whoever's article it is, because for article whatever, blah, 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 you read it. I make a motion just as it's read, as Pete mentioned, and then you go through it. It needs to be seconded by someone on the committee here. And then Mr. Meyer will say any discussion, and then that's when you say your first bullet points of what the answer is.
Can I recommend?
Yep.
That the chair second, or one person?
Sure.
Or one person do all the seconds?
Well, didn't we do it, the
I'll do it,
person
I'll
to
do
your
it.
left? But yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it,
It
because
should
there's
be-
usually
Yeah, it should
some
just
hang
be one
time in
person.
between.
Yeah,
Sure.
it should
Yeah.
just be one person.
The other thing is make sure you don't bring a lot of papers, because you will find that you lose what you're supposed to be saying.
Less is better.
That's happened.
So
All the mistakes I've done.
I'll send an example out. I'll also send out, and we can review this next meeting as well too, if you have further questions.
Actually, I have one quick question.
Yeah.
For the people who have done this before, in the comments that we give, should we keep it strictly just an elaboration of the facts? To what degree should we be opinionated?
None.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so that's all right. I mean, we all have comments here. Stick to the facts. No, in fact, we're not really providing any opinion. If you want to provide an opinion as a resident, you need to go down to the floor. You need to speak into the mic down there.
I disagree.
Okay.
Well, you have to.
Well, are you saying opinion in terms of approving?
If there's, we give our opinions, and we ought to be brief in our opinions, I agree
Okay.
with that, but we ought to, if we're saying.
FinCom
We're giving
opinion
an
versus a personal opinion.
Correct, if you're a personal
I would
opinion,
agree.
go down the floor and
Agreed.
speak as a resident, but you
Agreed.
ought to advocate for the way that the committee just voted, that's your job.
Agreed.
Your job is to advocate for the
Yeah.
position we just took.
Right.
If we had a dissension here, and we didn't, but
Yeah.
if we did, there would be an opportunity for a minority opinion, and
Yep.
that would be given. There's opportunity for a brief opinion, and if any of these issues were gray issues, we ought to discuss them. We ought to say, there are those that feel this way, there are those that feel, didn't happen tonight, so it's irrelevant. But
Yeah.
you have to explain the facts and why we made the recommendation that we did. I don't.
But
Well,
our own-
Article 6 is it, and you're it, and maybe the capital equipment, you know, the capital items.
Yeah, I
This is
mean,
gonna breeze through, the leaf blowers is gonna be the most
I know.
contentious issue.
six will be nothing.
all high schoolers.
The concrete example I was thinking about was when I was talking about the trails.
Yep.
you know, I mentioned that it's a good deal for the town because we pay and we don't pay for maintenance.
Oh, yeah,
I-
definitely
So,
say that.
Does that,
I don't think, so, I think for anybody who's new, do yourself a favor, don't get into opinions, just recite, you know, what the position was of the FinCom, and that's it. Don't elaborate, because what'll happen is you get down a rabbit hole. And then the other thing is that if you make a miscue, that sets off town meeting. And that miscue then gets multiplied out in the audience. So we try to avoid that. Just be simple. He can help you, I can help you, Peter can help you, any of us can help you, if you have a question as to how you're gonna present it, for those of us who've been here before. But just be careful, because any miscue that you state can be really reflected in the town meeting floor.
And since I did CPC in the past, I can walk you through how I did it.
Yeah.
And walk you through
Yep.
what worked for me, and then
Yeah,
you
that'd
can
be
take it from there.
For those
Yeah.
who gotta know, that's all.
100%.
This you'll be good.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what he said tonight was fine. I mean, he just said that it'll
Absolutely.
benefit it's beneficial
Yeah.
to both the people who live there and the town people.
Yeah.
So that's fine, you
Yeah.
know, because it's a fact. you
That's a
know,
fact.
It's a
Yeah.
fact.
So,
Can I make one recommendation?
Yeah,
Mr.
go ahead.
Chair? If there are no changes to the warrant, can we skip next week's meeting? And go right to our pre-town meeting? Because there's really been nothing to do next week.
let me check with Deidre on that. I don't know.
We have to post the meeting and then cancel.
Well, it's probably already posted.
I'll find out.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Oh, jeez.
Go ahead, Pete.
I move that the committee vote to approve the minutes from October 8th as written.
Second.
It's been moved to approve the FinCom meetings from October 8th and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Those meeting minutes pass. A couple items on the old business, new business. So, Eric, Brett, Mark, and Heidi, you guys are all going to this municipal FinCom conference. Jen and I went to it, I think it was last year, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't know. Seems
I
like it
went
was
to
ages
it the
ago.
year before. It was
Yeah.
good.
No, it was last year, yeah.
yeah,
it was
looking
not
forward to
quite-
it.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
it's good.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of good information.
Some of the
last-
sessions are
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, it was last year's.
Last,
So,
I know,
what
I
I'd like
should
to
go.
ask
I've
though
got
is
plans
when
for that day.
you come back, at our next meeting, whatever that is after, is to do a little, no minor presentation on what you learned, things you took away, things that would be beneficial for Millis, things would be beneficial for FinCom, et cetera, et cetera. I talked to a guy there, I forget what town he was, but they were debt-free. He's like, we had an aggressive thing to pay off all of our debt, and it took, 15 years, and they did it. And so I was like, so I called them up after. I'm like, tell me your story. I'm like, so it's just, it adds context in terms of how Millis is doing. My big takeaway last year was we're doing pretty well as a town compared to a lot of towns out there. We're not the best. We're definitely not the worst. We're right in the middle, but that's okay. I think you'll learn. I think everybody will learn a lot. So, that is my and then my other comment is I will send out a FinCom report from a prior year. It's online as well, but everyone needs to provide a couple sentences describing your article for the FinCom report. So, for example,
The one that goes on the first page.
yep, the one that goes on the first page, and I'm gonna have you to put down approval too. So, you guys want me to show you an example? Give me a second here. Yeah, you already did yours. Mike already did it. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a lot.
No, exactly. I just gotta find it, Mike.
The OPED one will be already on, you can just look at old warrants that go to the people's homes.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that we've, like the tree removal, I could look it up but it's very simple. Don't overthink it.
It's just on the website.
This is what we have to write for the article, when it gets the mailing, when the articles
No,
get.
but the prior year is what I mean.
I don't know if it's on the website. Are
Yeah.
they?
Okay.
Okay.
They're all there.
You look at last year's
Okay.
Yeah,
FinCom,
let me
it's
go.
called the FinCom recommendation booklet. And the FinCom don't look it up in the warrant, hopefully you won't find it, it's FinCom recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Finance Committee report, exactly.
So for example, on one of these that I just picked. Yeah, so I'm just picking a random article. Greenhouse gas, Article 15. It says FinCom recommendation for this article. This article was submitted by the Millis Energy Committee and would encourage the select board and all town boards and committees to develop municipal net zero action plan by March 2024. So, and then it says the Finance Committee recommends approval of this article, and it'll say 8-0 or unanimously. So I'll send out a FinCom reports and links. So.
What's the suspense?
Suspense?
When is it due? Sorry.
I'm gonna say sooner than later.
Yeah, you
Try to
should
get it
have it
done.
done
I was gonna say this Friday, but that might be a little steep. Try to get it done by next meeting.
Right,
Yeah, Dieter, go ahead, weigh in.
right, so we have to go to print
Correct,
on the 27th.
correct.
So depending on whether or not we're meeting next week,
Yeah, regardless of next week, try to have your just article descriptions in by next Wednesday.
Well, no. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we-
only a
yeah,
few cents.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
it should be
No,
able
no,
to-
I was.
we could do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
by next week.
Just don't, yeah.
if you have any
don't
questions,
procrastinate.
reach out to us. I'll send some
Get it
examples.
done.
Some of us have jobs.
And some of us who have
Hey,
jobs
stop
already submitted
complaining.
it.
Driving our freeloaders around all day long.
Yeah, some of us who have jobs already submitted it.
All right, let's keep it together here before we expire. Movie, any other old business? I don't have any. Any other liaison updates of any kind?
The only thing I have is that the Council on the new carpet was installed last week. It looks great. Painting is going to be done for room 18. There's going to be a Mahjong tournament, October 29th. And then there's going to be the info session with for the Millis High School project on November 5th. And the UMass study, the results will come in late November, early December.
Oh, that's exciting. We
Yeah.
talked about that
Yeah,
last season.
Yeah, so, and we are, looking to give more facelift, so we're going to the downstairs, which will be great. And we may have a designer come in and, or a design consultant come in as it may be gratis, it may be minimal. She may be donating her time, but I can't speak for her completely. But to come in and give us more concrete information as to how we can best utilize the 2 rooms that we're redoing.
Great, appreciate the update.
Yeah, good news.
Okay.
Chair, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Well, it's been properly motion to adjourn and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you.